Is James Gunn a one-trick pony? Is he pretty much just repeating a lot of the same stuff that he's already done? This is being brought up more so now because most recently with the Supergirl trailer that dropped during the Super Bowl, we see Baby Crypto. And everyone's saying, oh, once again, another baby version of a character being showcased and highlighted in a James Gunn film. Only caveat in response to that is that Supergirl was not directed by James Gunn or written by James Gunn, and it's based, of course, off of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. But yes, it is in the James Gunn and Peter Safran new universe. But that's my only real response to that is like, well, technically, James Gunn, yes, has full control of what he wants in the DC universe, but he's not directing this film and he's not writing the film. He's just an executive producer co-running the studio. But anyways, these tweets came up and I want to respond to some of the stuff that's being thrown out there because there's been a lot of criticism thrown against James Gunn. And I think some of it is justified because you can pretty much criticize anything and everything, and it happens to pretty much everybody. You can be criticized for pretty much anything. We got a couple tweets that I want to read off here. We have this one here, and this is referring to all the baby versions of characters we're seeing in a lot of James Gunn projects. Baby Groot, Baby Rocket, Baby Joey from Superman, and now Baby Crypto. Gunts, which I'm not sure where that name came from, but okay, will tell you to your face that James Gunn is not a one-trick pony. Showcasing that, look, if you look at a lot of James Gunn projects, you see a lot of baby versions of these characters. Like, yes, understandable. That is a criticism, and I think you can justifiably say James Gunn likes to go back to that well. My only caveat is that Supergirl is not a James Gunn-directed project, but I get it because he's the overarching, basically, creator in terms of running the more creative side of DC Studios, and basically had oversight on all the projects, including Supergirl. The next one we have here, and this is more so talking about Supergirl as a character. This came out a little bit ago. James Gunn is the literal definition of one-trick pony, showcasing Supergirl wearing a jacket very similar to Star-Lord. Now, once again, this is based off of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and so you're going to see vibes of that space kind of opera kind of story in here. Now, I haven't read Woman of Tomorrow. I've not read the story. I don't know if she wears a jacket like this in the comics. I have no clue. But it's a comparison people are making and showing that even though James Gunn has not directed it, that look, there's some similarities here to something that he was heavily involved with for 3 films, with, of course, Star-Lord from the MCU. And finally, we have another tweet here. No pony in record history has had one trick as embarrassing and annoying as the pony known as James Gunn. And referring to the new Supergirl teaser highlighting Baby Crypto. I think at the end of the day, every director, and if you want to expand further than that, every actor, every artist, there's always stuff that they do go back to and refer to, and stuff that they are familiar with. Now, why is James Gunn really working with a lot of like baby versions of characters and showing this more kind of like baby side of characters? Not really sure, because Baby Groot, you know, was adorable. Baby Rocket Raccoon in Guardians 3. Story-wise, made sense why we're seeing that flashback, seeing that younger version of that character. Baby Joey, I mean, I understand the connection to Metamorpho and all that. And now we have Baby Crypto, which we're seeing the origin of how Crypto, who is Supergirl's dog, met her on Krypton and how that connection started. It makes sense in that sense to have Baby Crypto there, but now the bigger question is, why is there a lot of these things that are pretty much similar in James Gunn related projects now like really like repeating itself quite a bit? I think it's a fair criticism to bring up, but to say that this is like the definition of James Gunn and that this is pretty much the end all be all, and since he does this more than once, this certain thing, which is the baby characters and basically repeating certain elements, then that's the only thing James Gunn can do. That's not fair, in my opinion. It's not fair to say, since he has repeated himself in these instances with this one thing, this is all he's known for. This is the only thing he does. And that's not true. Superman had elements of his other projects. Sure. There were certain things in that film that I think he was trying that maybe he doesn't necessarily do all the time. And you could say at the end of the day, Superman was a very unique like project, a unique film for him. And there were certain elements that were repeated, like Baby Joey. But there's other things that maybe is not so much very cut and dry, like, okay, this is clear he's repeating this, this, and this. So to say he's a one-trick pony, in certain aspects, certain elements, sure. But in his whole career, I don't think so, because I don't think we're going to be seeing baby versions of characters all the time. Now, if we do, that's an issue. That's a problem. But I don't know. I digress. But what do you guys think? Do you think James Gunn's a one-trick pony? Do you think this is all he's going to be known for and that he cannot get outside of the box of James Gunn? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.